Hello and welcome to Google Classroom, Classroom Feed, and Creating Assignments. So we're going to deviate from the norm here for this video. We're going to cover the outline in brief, and then we're going to run through the steps in order. We're going to go straight to the demo and skip the slides this time, but I'll still publish the slides to correspond with the video. I'm going to scroll through here so you can get a feel for how many on the left side here. This is how many steps there are involved in what we're doing here, and it's really not necessary to run it through the slides and then to give you the demo after that. It's a little redundant, so I'll still put a PDF copy of this on the website, but for the purpose of this demo, we are going to do the outline first, and then we're going to fly right into the demo. So in Google Classroom, today we're going to cover the classroom feed, and then we're going to create an announcement. We're going to create a question, and then we're going to create an assignment by generating content in Google Drive. I'll show you how to do it locally too. And then we're going to create the assignment in Google Classroom and share it out to the class. So let's switch screens here and go right to the demo as promised. And there we go. Okay, so let me jump over here. All right, so we are signed in as Michael Bluth, which is our test teacher. And what we can see here is that this classroom already looks a little bit different from the other classrooms because I've already created some assignments. I've already created an announcement, an assignment, and a question. So we're going to go in and do all the same things in sequence. So we're going to select our Bluth classroom. And we can see our feed here. I haven't customized anything. I've left it as it was created by default. We can see here we're selected on this left tab which says stream, and I'm going to scroll down here slowly, and you can see that I've already got quite a bit of information already populated here. The very first one I have here is an announcement, the second item is a question, and the third item is an assignment. I can see here that this is different than it was before. This item that I'm circling with the cursor here, you can see that we've got something due Thursday and we've got something due Friday. We can see here readily available is always our classroom code. So what we're going to do is jump right in, and we're going to do an announcement first. So use your mouse to click on the add button on the bottom right hand side right here, and that's going to expand 4 menu options. We are going to create an assignment first. So we will click on this first button which says create announcement. So we'll click on that. We see it opens us up into a new window. And this is where we're going to put whatever text we want to be as part of our assignment. So I'm going to say hello and welcome. Please watch this video and add a comment below. And then we're going to attach a YouTube video. We can see here that we've got 4 options. So I'm going to run through the 4 right here. So the first option is the a paperclip icon, and if we click on this, what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to upload a file to attach. So this is what you would do if you wanted to share something that you created locally, whether it's a Word doc, an Excel spreadsheet, a PDF, something like that, a picture, it could be anything. So we're going to click that attach button, and what it's going to do is open us up into an option that says drag files here, or we can select that button that says select files from your computer. If we click on that, it's going to open us up into the most recent place that we were in our folder. You can see there's quite a bit of information here because I've got a lot going on here. We are not going to add anything from here, but I wanted to show it to you as an option. We're going to click cancel. We're going to go over to the next option, which is the Google Drive icon, where we attach a Google Drive item. We're going to click on that Google Drive item, and instead of in that upload option here, it's going to take me to my drive. And we can see that there's a classroom folder created at this highest level here, which is created as soon as you create a classroom, and it will place all of your classrooms inside of it. So I've got a couple of test classrooms going on here. This is where you could select something if you wanted to add it from the drive. I'm going to click cancel because I don't. I want to add a YouTube video, but I'll show you that last. The 4th item here is attach a link. So this is if you had a video that was shared from Vimeo or another website that's not YouTube, or if you had a link to a news article or something else that you found on the web that you wanted to share, you would use that 4th add link item and paste your link right here, and then click the add button on the right. But what we're going to do is we are going to click that X there to cancel, and we're going to select this YouTube item here with the familiar YouTube icon. We're going to click on that. And it's going to take us to Insert Video dialog box, which allows us to search for our video as the first option. Or if we click on this next option, it will give us an option to paste the YouTube URL directly. You can do that if you've already got the video pulled up and you have already searched for it and you found it, and it's another tab or another window. You can copy and paste the address there. Or you can do what we're going to do here to show you how it works, is I'm going to type in what I want to find my video on. So I want to pull up the Google Classroom 101 video that Google published. So I typed in what I wanted, and then I'm going to click on that search button here, and it's going to go search the internet for me, and it's going to pull up, just so happens, the video that I want is the first option. I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to click Add. And we can see here that this looks a little different from before. Instead of just this text and then these 4 options at the bottom, I can see now a little icon for my video, the name of the video, and how long it is. I can see that I still have that same X option to back out of here if I decided, oh, nope, I clicked on the wrong thing by mistake. I can click on that X and go back. But I did want that video, so we are going to search for it one more time. I typed it in. I'm going to click the blue search button. I'm going to select my video and click Add. And we are ready to post this announcement. So I'm going to click Post. Give it a second. Boom, there it is, right on the feed. So we see that this works just like any other feed, like Google+, Facebook, Edmodo, things like that. The newest item will always float to the top, unless, of course, from this menu here that I'm hovering over top of these 3 dots, if you click on that, you can manually move something to the top. Now this, if I hover over top of it, it's grayed out and I can't actually click on it because it's already at the top. I can edit or I can delete, and then to show you that move to top option, if I hover over this item, I can click move to top because this item isn't at the top. But what I want to do instead is I've created my announcement. Now I want to create a question. It's kind of like an assignment. It's a little bit different. It's more interactive. Instead of a student handing an assignment directly into you via Google Drive, this will be something that's shared on the feed. So it's more of a use for discussion. So we'll click that Add button again, and then I'm going to create a question here, which is the second option from the top, third item from the bottom. And it's going to open a dialog that looks pretty similar. I'm going to create a question. Let's see, how many times does the Earth orbit the Sun one day? Let's say 24 hours. Add your answer below as a comment. Okay, and then I'm going to select a due date here. If I click that drop-down menu here, it's going to give me the option to select a different date. It's going to also give me the option to select a time. I don't want to do that, so I clicked that red X. I want to click that calendar icon, and I want to select next week Tuesday as the due date. Click on there for the 19th, and then select Save. And there's my question. If I wanted to add a local file, if I wanted to add something from Google Drive, from YouTube, or a manual pasted link, I have those same 4 options for a question. For the sake of this particular question example, I do not want to attach anything. I just want to post this as a question to the class. I'm going to make sure that I have everything here that I want. I do. I'm going to click that blue Ask button. And then it's going to give me an option that I can manually edit later, the same way that I would be able to move an item to the top of the feed, edit the item, or delete it. This gives you the ability to control what your students are able to do when interacting on that question specifically. It's per item. It's not a control that you can do for the whole entire classroom, but it's per item. And we see that the option for see and reply to each other's answers is selected by default. I'm going to leave that there, and then we can see that edit their answers is an option too. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm not going to have any of that interaction in this particular demo, so I'm going to leave it as it is. But if you want, you can unselect. You can select them both. You can select the opposite one. You can do anything that you want. There isn't a mandatory setting that needs to be in place. You can do whatever you want. So we're going to choose that first option and then click the blue Ask button. And then we can see, just like it did with the announcement that we made, that question floated to the top here. And we can see that there's something that's different about this. Whereas this was posted as an announcement, which is more of something that you would do to just share a piece of information, to put it on their radar. This question option, it formats itself like an assignment. So it'll show you, I've got 14 students here, and since I just posted it, none of them are done. So we've got 0 done and 14 not done. And our due date is right at the top here. And we've got our question, and we can see that I've asked them to add their answer below as a comment. So when they sign in as a student, they will be able to click on the comment and begin typing and post whatever their comment would be. And it would count for each student every time they respond in the comment, because it's a question that will count as them completing that, completing the answer to that question, and it would show up as a tick mark on the done side. Okay, so that is a question. So we've got one more item to create, which is an assignment. And before we create an assignment, from the add button here on the bottom right, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to create a template in Google Drive to attach to our assignment. So there's two different ways to get to it. The quickest way for me is to click on this new tab button, and I would begin typing drive.google.com because I'm used to it. I've also got a shortcut for it. This is the manual location that you would go to, drive.google.com. Alternatively, what you can do here, I'll close that tab and go back to Classroom. This menu bar on the top left, if I select those 3 lines, I'm going to do it one more time. So you've got a few different options here. My Classroom will fall under here. If I click on Work, it's going to show me the different assignments and questions that I've got out there and who's done what. And I can look at them more granularly here. So I'm going to click on this newest item that I've created. If I click on that link, it's going to take me to all the students, and it will show me who's done and who's not, and I can grade them here at the top where I'm hovering my mouse here. We can see that I can change what it's out of. I can make it out of 50 points or 10 points. I will see here at the top we've got student answers highlighted. I can click on my question again to go back to just that and look at it from sort of a feed view. I'm going to go back, and it's going to take me back to Classroom. I'm going to go back to that menu item. To get into Drive, the other way besides opening a tab or having a shortcut is you can click on Classes at the top, and then there's a Google Drive folder right here at the top level here. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to open up in a new tab. It's going to open up my Google Drive folder, and because I selected the folder from the Classroom directly, it's going to not take me to the highest level at my drive. It's going to take me down to the 3rd level down, which is the specific classroom that I just clicked on. When you create a classroom, it creates a folder for that classroom, which is where all those shared documents will go and where the folders for your students will end up, the duplicate versions of those assignments. I'm going to click on my drive just to give you an idea of where we are. This is the top level. If you wanted to create, let's create a folder to use for items that you don't want to share yet. So we're going to click on the red new button. We're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this drafts. Name it, click the blue create button. And now within this drafts folder, we can create items that we want to use at a later date, but we don't want to share with everyone. If we double click on it, it will open us into this folder that we can add something to. So I'm going to add a document to it here quickly. If I click on Docs, it'll open it up into a new tab. And I'm going to leave this as untitled because I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm just going to sort of fat finger some text into here. And we're going to see here that all the changes were saved. So I'm going to close out of that document. I can see that once I close it, once I'm inside that drafts folder within my drive, I can see that the document's already there. And I can grab it and move it, link to it, share it, do whatever I need to do at a later date. And I'm just going to place some things here before I'm ready to share them. But right now, we want to make an assignment. So I'm going to go back to my drive, and I'm going to go into Classroom and into my sample classroom, which is Bluth Carlson Grade 3, by double-clicking on it. and I am going to create a new document. We can see here that I've done a couple of demos already, so I've got quite a few sample assignments here. I'm going to create a third sample assignment. So I'm going to click on that red new button and select Google Docs. It's going to say create and share folder, question mark, because it wants to let you know that the item that you're creating here will be viewable by the other students in your classroom, and if you happen to have added a secondary instructor in your classroom, everyone will be able to see this content. So it's giving you a heads up to say, hey, it's all good if you want to create something here. We just want to let you know that everyone can see it. And we know that because we want to create our assignment, so we're fine with that. And we click the blue OK button. It will, just as it did before, open us up into a new tab with an untitled document. I'm going to click inside of untitled document and I'm going to name it. I'm going to name this sample assignment 3. And if I click enter, it is going to automatically select, it's going to automatically enter that name and save it, which is good. So I'm going to add just a little bit more random gobbledygook here just to get it going. And what you would do here if you were doing it in a real example is you'd say something like, let's see, write 4 sentences on, forgive the misspelling there, on how you spent your winter break. Below. And what this would do is this will create the template that the student will see. So what we'll do for the sake of this example here is we'll get rid of all the garbage there. We'll say write 4 sentences on how you spent your winter break below. And we're done with our assignment. So what we're going to do is, now that we've opened these up into new tabs, what I can do is click on this classroom tab to go back to my classroom. So I'll select on blue Carlson grade 3. I'm ready to create my assignment because I created that content. So what I'll do is I'll go back over to that add button and I'm going to select the clipboard icon, which is create assignment. And it's going to open me up to the same kind of a dialog window that we've seen for the last 2 items. It's all pretty uniform. It's going to ask me for a title and any optional instructions and a due date, just like before. I've got those same 4 share options. So for this one, I'm going to title it Sample Assignment 3. I'm not going to add any optional instructions, or actually I'll say use the attached template to complete this assignment. I'm going to set a due date. I'm going to click on that arrow button like I did before. I'm going to click on that calendar icon and make it due next week. Let's make it due on a different day from the last assignment. Make it due on the 20th. I'm not going to set a time, and I'm going to click save. Now, instead of uploading a local copy or a YouTube video or a direct link, I'm going to upload that sample assignment 3 template that I just made. So I'm going to click on that Google Drive icon, which is going to take me to this new dialog window. And I can see here, now that I'm logged in as me and I've created that additional drafts folder, I can see that this is where I could pull information from for the students that I wanted to use as a marker from before that I wasn't ready to publish yet. But for this example, I'm going to go into my classroom folder. I'll select that grade 3 folder. And we've got our sample assignment. Let's see which one. If I hover over top for a second here, I can see that sample assignment 3. That's the one that I want. I can see I've got a couple others here. That's the document that I want. So I'm going to click the blue add button. And we can see that it attaches it right here. Now this is the cool fun part where Google Magic really gets exciting, is that the default setting for this attached document is that students can view the file. What we're going to do is we're going to dial it up a notch here. And we're going to select the last option, which is make a copy for each student. So I've got 14 students in this class. So what it'll do is, instead of having to make copies of a document or email a file or put a copy of it on their desktop that they then open, or put it in a folder and ask them to drag and drop it, or open a document and then file save as in their own folder, what it will do is it simplifies everything. You create one document and you can make a copy for each of your students, and it will automatically name the file in their own Google Drive folder, so that when they turn that assignment in, they don't have to worry about writing their name on it. The file will name itself sample assignment 3 dash whatever their name is, and they're able to receive that template very quickly with very little effort on your part, and then turn it in without any confusion so that you can grade it very simply and then return it back to them. So we're going to select that make a copy for each student, make sure that our title and our instructions and our due date are correct and our attachment is correct. And we're going to click that blue assign button. It's going to take a second to work its Google magic. And now we're live. And we can see here that since I made the due date January 20th, it's a little bit different from that January 19th due date. I can see the same thing as the other item, which is that none of them are done yet. I've got 14 that are not done. They still have the option to add comments if they'd like. And we can see that that assignment is loaded to the top. And what it'll do is it'll add itself to this feed here. We can see we've got something due Thursday and Friday, whereas these two are due next week. So if we selected view all, this would take us in order all of those work items that we can select from our menu item at the top left here. So if we go back into Bluth Carlson grade 3, and from that menu button select work, it's going to take us that same thing that we were just at, just to let you know that those are the same exact things. It's going to sort it by the items that you have to review still. Once you've been working with this for a little while and you've graded some things, the reviewed items will go in this section to keep things separate so that only the things that need to be on your radar are on your radar. So we're going to use that menu button to take us back to our Bluth class and take a look at our feed here. We're going to scroll through it really slowly. We can see we've got our sample assignment, we've got our sample question, and our sample announcement. We can scroll down and see some other templates that I created too. So once you've added some content, this is what it'll look like. It'll populate here just as it would in Google Plus or Facebook or Edmodo. Everything is pretty simple and straightforward and clean, and all of the items, interactions will stay tied to those items. Okay, let's head back over to our slides. And just to wrap up, we're going to go over that outline one more time. We took a look at our classroom feed. We created an announcement. We created a question. We created an assignment by generating content in our Google Drive. We also saw how to do that locally. And then we created our assignment and shared it with our classroom feed. Like I said, that's why we ran right into the demo, because that was already pretty lengthy. I've got quite a few slides here. If you'd like to go through it a little bit more slowly, step by step, or explore any other options, we've got the slides here that you can take a look at, as well as the other demos that we've got on our website at helpdesk/howtovideos under Google Classroom. And as always, if you've got any questions that weren't answered in any of these demos or slides, feel free to give the help desk a call at 123 internally, or you can send us an email directly to helpdesk@vdps.net. Thank you and have a great day.